Hello, Martin here. Welcome to the second episode of Recreating Stockholm in the 1920s. First, a quick look at what we built last time, the area west of Slussin next to Riddarfjärden. As I said, I wasn't entirely happy with it, so I've changed a few details. This time we'll cover the other side of Slussin, the area called Stadsgården, and above it around Mosebacke. We'll also construct the well-known landmark Katarinahissen. Okay, let's get started. Stadsgården is a wharf and has been a port of Stockholm for many hundred years. All buildings along the shoreline in this image are gone except the one furthest to the left. A lot of cargo used to be handled here, so there are a lot of railway tracks. Nowadays it's a large road instead called Stadsgårdsleden and some parking lots for the cruise terminals. No historical series about Stockholm can be complete without at least a few words about the history of Slussin, so I'll take the opportunity now, although we are working with Stadsgården next to it right now. Slussin is and has always been a very important place in Stockholm. It's been of strategic importance for at least 1,000 years, being one of the few ways into Lake Mälaren from the Baltic Sea. The name refers nowadays both to the water passage for boats and the complex interchange for road traffic built next to it. Currently in 2019 the whole area around Slussin is a construction site. The version that just been demolished was built in the early 1930s, so this model shows what it looked like just before the construction of that one started. A sluice, or a lock, is a construction that allows for passage between two bodies of water of different levels. Stockholm is still rising at a rate of about 4 millimeters per year as a result of the last ice age. So for example, during the Viking Age you could still sail straight into Lake Mälaren, but eventually the shallow strait between Stadsholmen and Södermalm became too hard to navigate. So a first lock was built in 1642 during the reign of Queen Katrina. That stood for over 100 years and was replaced by one designed by Christopher Polhem, which opened in 1755. 95 years later, that in turn was succeeded by Nils Erikssons Slussin, which was built closer to Gamla stan. Polhem's lock was kept as a place to keep fish, and a bazaar was built around it. So at the time of this model, we have both the older Polhem lock, not used as a lock anymore, and Nils Erikssons lock. Between them is an open space used as a turning zone for trams. City Skylines has very broad quays, or wharfs, so I didn't manage to make both locks and make it look good. Maybe I will try again later during this series. As you can see, I'm working my way through the houses at Stadsgården. The peculiar thing with these buildings are that Katarinavägen on the southern side is some 20 meters higher than the port and railway area on the other side. Okay, that was Stadsgården. I will draw some streets and then make the bridge to Katarinahissen and then the elevator itself. Here you can see how handy the map overlay function can be. The current Katarinahissen was completed in 1936. Before that stood a similar elevator in almost the same place. It was opened in 1883. For a price of 5 öre, about half a cent, you could get a ride up, but the trip down was only 3 öre. I will use some tricks here to make something that is similar to Katarinahissen. Another well-known building is Södra Teatern. If you compare this old image with what it looks like in Google Earth, you can see that it's been made wider and that another floor has been added. But that was done before the 20s, so at the time of our model it had the same size as it has today. I'm going to build that and the area behind Slussin. Most buildings are the same today, except those below Södra Teatern, as you could see in the comparison. I found a better match for Stockholms Sjömanshem, so I am going to use that instead. This building is from 1647 and today has the well-known commercial sign for Stomatol from 1909 above its roof. But the sign was originally placed on the old Katarinahissen and remained there until 1933. Here I'm pretty much just guessing. This part seems to always be just outside any photo from this region. Now it's time for the square Mosebacke Torg, the terrace and the area below it. This is another tricky section. It's steep, the maps are confusing because the road Katarinavägen was new at this time. It replaced the old Glasbruksgatan and there are gaps in the photo coverage. I realized that I've been jumping around quite a bit during this episode and that it can be hard to follow exactly where I am in each moment. I will try to have that in mind and be clearer with the context. Everything we've done today is confined to a very small area, as you will see in the panning shot in the end. Okay, I will end this episode with a comparison. Here's the photo with the view from Katarinahissen I showed you last time, compared to what the same view looks like right now in the model. That was all for today, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and see you next time.